You almost hadn't any pro game back in 1988, and you had a surprise offer from Turkey. Who did get in touch with you first?
It was Gordon Mill when I was at Queens Park Rangers. He knew the manager Jim Smith very well, and said he needed a striker. So did he have anyone in mind? And Jim Smith mentioned my name. Said we've got this young striker who we think has got a chance in football. Probably needs a year away, and that's how my time came to happen in Turkey.
Did you have any reservations before getting to Istanbul?
Yes, I did. I mean, I say to people, the only thing I'd seen about Turkey before I'd gone there was the film Midnight Express, and that's not the best advert for Turkey, but it was about me going and playing football and sort of like learning to be a top professional, and that's what Turkey did for me.
And how did you find the level of play in Turkish league? Was it well below the English football in terms of physicality and tactics?
Yeah, it's probably technically they were, the players were very good. Physically it was probably below the League One. It was a Division One at the time. So I think there was probably about three or four teams. I would have said that I'd have thought that Galatasaray, Beşiktaş, Fenerbahçe'ye and Trabzon could have played in the league back then. They would probably been sort of like mid-table, lower end of the table. But I felt that those teams could have played in the division back then.
I think you had quite a prolific season in your single year in Turkey, because you even scored a hat-trick in a league game, some goals in cup games. How would you consider your that sole season in Turkish league?
That was the making of me. It was the first time I was playing in front of crowds of 40,000 people, scoring goals on a regular basis, and I think the biggest thing for me was I scored goals against Fenerbahçe, Galatasaray. So for Beşiktaş supporters, that I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything wrong after that. So it was a year where I grew up as a footballer. It was a year that I learned to be a professional footballer, and for me, it was the making of me as a player going and spending time in Turkey.
And it's almost 30 years since you had scored that memorable goal against Fenerbahçe. It was 21st of June, 89.
Yeah,
almost 30 years. Tell us about that goal.
I could always remember that I was having a problem with in previous games. I'd had a problem with the defender Nizzi, who's seen
a fierce defender,
who was seen as a hard man, and because I'd come from the English league, it was like hard man against hard man sort of thing. And I just remember that picking the ball up and someone passing the ball into me and turning and beating a few players, and then going around someone and then cutting back and then playing it under the goalkeeper, who was Tony Schumacher at the time. And I remember scoring a goal and running away and thinking to myself, that was quite special, that goal. And then luckily it was the goal that won the final. The return leg was a 0-0, so we won the league, we won the game 1-0, and we won the Turkish Cup.
Would you consider it among your maybe top 5 or top 10 goals?
Top 3 goals.
Top 3 goals, really?
I always say to people, if you want to see a good goal, have a look at that one I scored against Fenerbahçe in the cup final.